Hi guys, and welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to show you how you can make procedurally generated forests in Unity. In this project, we also have the terrain generation we made in another video. Check the link in the description if you are interested. First of all, we will create a new script called forest generation and add it to our game manager object. For the variables, we need an array of vegetations, a vector 2 for the land size, and another for the start position, and 2 layer masks for ground and the vegetation. Then we can make a serializable struct called vegetation with an array of vegetation type, a string name, float density, and distance as the parameters. After that, we will make another serializable struct called vegetation type with the parameters GameObject for the prefab and 2 vector 2s for spawn height and scale. Now we will make a generate forest function where we will call a new function named spawn vegetation. In the spawn vegetation function, we will get all vegetation variables using for each. Then we will loop through our coordinates using 2 for loops, one for the x and one for the y axis. If a random number between 0 and 100 is smaller than the density, we will continue by setting the x position to x times distance plus start position, and copy it for y as well. After that, we will check if a ray at the x and y position will hit the ground. If it does, we will do another check, and we will check if there are any vegetation objects near the hit point using the overlap sphere function. If there are no vegetation objects, we will make a new list of vegetation types. Here we will get each vegetation type, and we will check if the hit point is between the minimum and the maximum spawn height. Then we will add those ones to our list. If we have one or more available vegetation types, we will get one random item from the list. Now we will instantiate the prefab of that item at the hit point and set it as a variable. After that, we will set the scale to a random value between the minimum and the maximum scale. The rotation on the y-axis to a random float between 0 and 360, add the layer to the vegetation layer. We will also get all children of the object using another for each loop and set their layer to vegetation as well. We need to do this for the LODs, which are child objects of our prefabs. In our game manager script, we will make forest generation a variable and call the forest generation function after the terrain is generated. Now we can assign our values in the inspector. For the trees, I will set the density to 1.5 and the distance to 3. You can use other values if you like. Then I'll add 2 tree types. For the first one, the spawn height is between 30 and 50, and second one is between 50 and 70. I will make the scale 0.7 to 2 for the first and 1.5 to 3 for the second. Now we can make another vegetation. For example, I will use rocks and flowers. At last, we can make the lens size 1000 by 1000 and the start position can stay 0. The ground layer for my terrain is water and I'll use vegetation as the vegetation layer. We also need to direct the forest generation to our game manager. Now when we start the game, we can see that the vegetation is correctly generated. The prefabs are also generated at the height that we assigned. For example, the mushrooms and the other types of trees are spawned at the mountains. That was it for this tutorial. If it was helpful, leave a like and subscribe for more tutorials in the future.